welcome back to Rounding the Bases Extra Innings. 4 final questions with Rachel Hanfling. Check out the audio version of this podcast. A lot of deep, great insight from a very, very long time friend of mine. 4 questions as we round the bases. The first one is this: how do you balance being a solo parent, having twin boys in your 40s, now into the 50s? I can say that because we're about the same age, but somehow you balance it, running your own business and twin boys.
Well, the answer is it's a work in progress. It isn't always pretty, but it's funny when I first became pregnant, I think, like many women, was afraid to tell people that I work with that I was pregnant, because I was afraid they might not want to work with me anymore. But what I have found is, even though my life is certainly crazier and more unpredictable, I feel like I'm a better coach now than I was before I had children. I am better for so many reasons. I have so much more insight about what I care about, what matters. I'm so much more efficient. So I like to think that the moments where I unfortunately have to cancel on somebody on short notice, which I try not to do very often, but I like to think that is far trumped by the fact that I'm actually better at what I do now.
Well, I love that. And I think what I'll do is go with my second question of being this.
Okay.
Your twin boys are so much fun.
Thank you.
I get to see them every time I'm coming in. And I also like that, because I always hear people say in the Midwest, in a place like Kansas City, they say, "Oh, I could never live in New York." Well, I could. I don't necessarily have that desire, but it is a totally different world. Like, I know I would be fine there, but it's totally different, right? I mean, you're living in a high rise with 2 boys and doing all this type of stuff. So it could be close quarters. That's what you know. That's your world. But those 2 are always doing something. Maybe it's gross boys things, whatever. But I know that if they're not driving you crazy at times, because that's what kids do to parents, that they'll make you laugh. And I've got to think along this journey that they have taught you a lot too.
I don't even have words, and I'm supposed to teach people how to speak, but I don't even have words to express how much my kids have taught me. I would imagine you agree. I mean, being a parent is the most humbling experience of my life. Everything that looks so simple before I had to do it it's not that simple. And yeah, I've learned a lot about not being able to control a lot of things, but it's also the greatest love, the best thing I have ever done.
Okay, 2 quick questions to wrap it up. Third one, as we round the bases, what have you learned from teaching at Harvard? Did you learn from teaching there? Yeah, I mean, that's a totally amazing thing.
Oh gosh. Well, I was recommended to speak at Harvard by a good friend of mine who I had actually produced when I was at the Oprah show, and she then became a graduate student at the Harvard Kennedy School. And honestly, when I first got the invitation to speak there, it was so moving for me because I never could have gotten into Harvard. And then when I walked in there and I saw these posters with my name and my picture, I honestly, I was in tears walking into this speaking engagement because I couldn't believe that it was happening. What I've learned is I've met tremendously smart, capable, accomplished people at Harvard, and it is so much fun to go there. I actually haven't been there in a few years because of COVID. I hope to be going back soon. But I've also learned that no matter how much education you have and what you've achieved in life, feelings and insecurities around public speaking are universal. And just because somebody is so educated, it doesn't mean that they're immune to challenges when they want to open their mouth to achieve something.
Love that. Last one, my walk-off question. You spent so many years, and people don't, I think, always understand this because they haven't lived this world. I know you got these questions because I get them about athletes. Oh my gosh, what was Oprah like? Oh my gosh, what was, Anderson like, and all that. I'm not asking about that stuff. I know they're supposed to be great people and all that. They're people, by the way. That's what they are. They're people that are living maybe, different circumstances than we're used to. But how much did working on shows like that set you up for today?
Well, who I am was shaped by everything I learned while I was working in television. I had the tremendous opportunity to work with some of the greatest people in television. I studied them. They mentored me, and we all collaborated. So it taught me everything I know, and it also, working on a show like the Oprah Show, where I could see the good that the show did in the world, was tremendously gratifying. And it was an opportunity I'll always be grateful for, always.
A big step along the way, and now bigger and better things, or however we want to say that. But different things, but where you want to be, where you should be, where you were born, I believe, to be. RachelHanfling.com. Check it out. Just check out all the content on there. I mean, she's got Anderson Cooper saying great things about her, but beyond that, Rachel
and Joel Goldberg saying great things.
And Joel Goldberg saying great things too. Anderson and I do have the same hair. Anyway, appreciate it. Again, everybody check out the audio version of the podcast. Go to RachelHanfling.com. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you, Joel.